Welcome to the Disagreeablenerd podcast, a podcast where nerds from various ages and backgrounds get together to discuss movies, TV, books, and anything else that pops into their small, simple minds. Now sit back, relax, and let their ignorance wash over you.
And welcome back to another episode of the Disagreeable Nerd podcast. I am your titular disagreeable nerd, Gabi.
Factoid Sade.
Factoid ho? What?
That always goes over smoothly.
And it's the first time every time.
What's hard about it is I'm looking at Gabi because he's trash talking me already, even in his
said
mind.
Nothing.
So I can't seem to get it right. And so, anyways,
yeah, well, I don't know.
Anyways, this is Deej.
Oh, and Deej.
Hey.
Hey, Deej. Hey.
Not a factoid.
Not a factoid. Has anyone noticed my hair? Like, the color?
It is really very nice looking.
Does it look
Is it a different color than usual?
Does it look better? So...
Sure.
It was looking a little bit...
yeah, sure.
It was looking a little orange.
If that's what you want to hear.
Crusty and brown. And so I had to saturate it with some more red. So in the video, you may not can tell, but I dyed my hair again.
Cool.
I think I just wanted to...
It looks really nice and maroon.
That's what I was going for. And I was like, my
What
hair's
a maroon.
turning brown. I'm like, what the crap? And orange? I was like, no, can't do that.
All right. Well, we're
Crusty.
on cheap Zoom. We have less than 40 minutes now, so we need to get going. So, have any of us been up to anything since the last podcast worth talking about?
Well, I did start a book called Hyperion. Still reading it. Very, 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 very interesting book. I'm still in chapter 1 because there's 6 chapters, and the first chapter is super long. It's like, if you're listening to it on Audible, it's 3 hours long. So it's one of those now I've decided it's just a passer time novel for me.
So
But
you're not
other than
really
that-
invested in it?
No, I am, but like in a different investment. It's more like a lazy investment.
Oh, like daytime trader
What's it
investment?
about?
It's about these 6 or 7 group of people
Hyperions?
go to this. They're on their way to
What does it even
basically
mean?
go to this planet called Hyperion.
Oh, the planet is Hyperion. Okay.
And this place, and they are going to kill this godlike creature robot type thing, Shrike.
Shrike, is that his name?
Shrike, yes, he's the Shrike, and some people worship him, and some people
Shrike 1. That's Sean Connery calling a
try to
baseball
kill
game.
him. Anyways,
Classic.
I don't know.
R.I.P.
That's what I've been doing. What you guys been up
Well,
to?
that's it. Barely reading Hyperion. Got it.
You always have to dissect it, don't you? Dissect everything I do. Deej, what about you?
Nothing. You finished The Mandalorian.
So we haven't watched it yet.
I have watched
Well,
it. Sade
Gabi's-
has not watched
So
it.
I didn't get to watch it yesterday, and I plan on watching it tonight. So don't say anything.
Just quick
Please
question.
don't
Did you
spoil
like it,
for me.
DJ?
Yeah, I did.
Do you have any issues with it, DJ? Without specifics.
Oh gosh. But you can't talk about it.
Were they
No,
technical?
we're not. That's what I'm saying. What's that?
My main issue was technical.
Of course, every issue you have is technical.
Okay. Well, since Sade hasn't watched it, we won't go into great detail.
Thank you.
But I mean, mostly I enjoyed it. Yes. Well, okay. Dadgum, I wish you'd seen it. All right. So I have been reading a book that I read in probably middle school called Runaway Robot by Lester Del Rey from 1965. So it's like, you know, they just made it to the moon. So their idea of sci-fi is very it's almost like innocent and naive. You know, they're just walking around with, you know, these bubbles like the Jetsons. That's their idea of sci-fi.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask a question. Don't trash me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not familiar with the Jetsons, so I can't relate to what you're saying right now.
So what? You have up until this moment, you've never heard of the Jetsons.
Jetsons. I'm like going through every brain cell in my body trying to figure it out.
Shouldn't take too long.
See, I've never watched the Jetsons.
Ouch.
I've
never watched like a whole episode of it, but I know what it is.
I haven't either, but I know who it is.
If I see
it always blows my mind
picture.
when Paige just has like no connection with certain things that are like, I feel like it's like
iconic.
But
so how do you
just like just 2 years apart, Paige, me and you, and it's just it always blows my mind.
She was sheltered.
No idea about something.
She was sheltered, dude.
I feel like I know it's like I know a lot, but I also don't know a whole lot. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
I would shift. You don't know a whole lot under to the majority category.
No, but seriously, like people will be surprised by things I know, and then they'll be surprised by things I don't know. It's like an even balance, really.
So,
how do you even spell that? Is that with a J or a G? Jetsons.
J.
Jetsons.
Not the
Quick
Jetsons,
question.
It's the Jetsons.
Quick question. Sade. Sade.
Oh, huh?
Have you ever heard of the Flintstones?
Yes. See, that's why it's an even balance for me.
They're in the same ballpark as the Flintstones, except they were basically the future version. They were Hanna-Barbera in the future.
So I just looked it up because
Barbera
I needed
Barbara.
Oh, I've always said Barbera. I don't know. Maybe it's Hanna-Barbera.
Barbera. What? Okay, well, can I just revive myself for a second? I looked it up, and for some reason, I have seen this thumbnail before of them, so I can't say I've never heard of it. I didn't know it was called the Jetsons. I have seen this. Not like I've never watched this show before, but I've seen like a picture of it somewhere, you know?
Jetsons.
So I'm not totally ignorant.
Okay, so anyway, the book I've been reading is Runaway Robot. The robot's name is Rex. He finds out they live on good Lord, a moon of Jupiter or something. And he's with this family, and the family gets recalled back to Earth, but the robot does not get recalled with him. And he was basically like the babysitter robot of the young boy. So he's seen this young boy grow up. He's not completely like AI, but self-aware. But as the book goes on, he's becoming more self-aware, realizes he does not want the family to leave and go back to Earth without him, and starts developing all these emotions because he misses the young boy, Paul, that he basically raised. And so it's about him and Paul both defying orders and running away together to be best friends.
So it sounds like the robot develops feelings for this child.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those revolutionary, maybe probably not revolutionary, but
Not revolutionary, but
maybe I'm not using the right word.
I think it's pretty much a children's story. So I don't know how revolutionary it is. I mean, it's like 150 pages long with drawings in it. I read it in middle school, but
Sorry,
sure.
I was thinking something deep beyond. I don't know what I was thinking. I was going to say, do you guys know who Mary, what's her name? Mary.
Poppins.
Pope Osborne?
Never heard of
The
her.
author? Never? She's
I've heard the name.
Children's author person, I think. Anyways, there's this book series. You made me, when you were talking about children's book and books you read in middle school. Have you guys ever heard of The Magic Treehouse?
No.
Never.
Or the Magic School Bus.
No.
Well, The Magic Treehouse.
Magic Mike.
Nope.
Huh.
Well, anyways.
Magic Mike XL.
No? Those are the only magics I know.
don't can't relate. Anyways, Magic Treehouse. It's one of those books I read as a kid in middle school too, Gobs. Maybe even not even middle school, more like elementary school. And I used to love reading them. They're basically these two kids, their brother and sister, who go to this treehouse, and they somehow get into a different world each time they go, and then they have to like solve the conflict of what's going on, whatever, and in that world. but it was like, you know, that word we used last podcast when episodes of a show is different each time, that and it's not like
yes,
it's kind of like that, but with the book.
What was that word?
It started with an
not anthropology.
Anthropology.
Anthropomorphic.
It's like
what do they call that?
I can't remember.
We said it last time.
I was trying to think of it.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
anthropology.
Yeah. No, it's not the study of bones or dinosaurs. I don't think.
No. Anyways, that word is kind of like that book series.
I don't think that's the study of bones.
I think anthropology has something to do with doesn't have to do with like poor
bones,
people,
like dinosaurs.
No, I'm thinking of
poor people.
I'm thinking
you're thinking of philanthropy.
I'm thinking of the wrong term. God.
Oh.
And it's not even poor people. It's just charity, right?
The study of poor people. It's called peasantry. The study of peasants.
My bad. Anyways.
Okay, so just a side note on y'all talking about these books y'all read like in middle school. Have y'all ever heard of Paul Zindel?
Paul Zindel. That sounds super familiar.
No.
He wrote
anthology.
A bunch of books that I used to
anthology,
read in, like,
just
middle
saying.
school.
Anthology, yes.
And
Paul
they were
Zindel.
like really cheesy, but really, really good. Kind of really dark books actually for middle schoolers, but
weird.
They wrote it was like the Doomstone. It was about this monster like around the dig site, like Stonehenge. They were digging around it. There's a monster out there. Or there's one called Raptor that was about these dinosaurs out in Utah. Like
wow.
They were still alive underground.
Well, they're from the 90s.
They had one about the Loch Ness Monster.
Doomstone's 95.
Were those like horror type books?
Yeah, they were.
But he started writing in the 60s.
Right.
Wow.
No, I thought I heard of him. I guess I don't know.
I've never heard of him at all, but I would like to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely teen books, I feel like. But
YA?
They're pretty dark, so. Yeah, YA.
Yeah.
But they're very gory.
That is kind of funny for like I don't know how. I don't know what's the limit when you're in middle school.
Yeah. And they may not even be YA novels. Maybe I just remember them as being that because I was in middle school.
Because a lot of the books that we think, or not we, but I used to think that are adult books. When I say adult books, I mean book chapter
50
books.
Shades of Grey.
See that book to me, I feel like that. Okay, that's a good example. I feel like that kind of book would be in a 7th, 8th grade. Not saying 7th and 8th graders should read that.
What are you saying?
What?
I'm saying like the writing. I've never read.
You're talking about the quality, the level of the writing is 7th grade reading.
Writing level?
Yes.
Yeah, like that level of writing could be a 7th or 8th grader could easily read. Like that's like kid stuff, like almost like I don't know if I'm amateur.
It is not kid stuff.
Not kid stuff. That's,
what are you talking about?
Please, disclaimer.
I mean, they had Don
disclaimer.
Quixote in my Crockett middle school library. And that is by no means a middle school level book.
No.
That's a college level book.
Well, I mean, you know that 50 Shades of Grey was fan fiction of Twilight, right?
Did not know that.
Am I right on that? I believe I'm right.
I don't know anything about the
I
book.
don't think there's vampires in 50 Shades of Grey.
It started off on... no, I'm saying it started off as fan fiction of Twilight. I believe. I could be completely wrong.
Honestly, have no idea.
But yes, it is super amateurish.
Like,
but
so
yet, hey, guess what? That person is a multimillionaire, and here we are talking about
Because
it.
middle-aged women love that stuff.
Well, I was just thinking about the classic novels or books that have quality in their writing and it's meaningful.
And big words and
Like all
philosophy. And,
not just philosophy. It can be like sci-fi stuff too.
but sci-fi stuff has philosophy
science
in it.
fiction books sometimes, yeah. But
What is life? Why am I here?
I just think
my robot developing emotions for this boy. I mean, that's like
Your robot sounded like
okay, I get you.
Kirk. Captain Kirk.
I have feelings for this
I guess
boy.
if you
Paul. Paul's his name.
Oh my god!
What is your favorite book? Have we ever discussed this? Yeah, we have. It's been a while.
I've already told you how I felt about that question. I haven't read enough. I feel like I need to read more or less amateur books to have a favorite book, because like I read a lot of like Hunger Game type books when I was in high school.
Yeah,
dystopian.
What would be your favorite book so far?
What would it be now?
The Hunger Games series are my favorite books right now. So
still. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean,
I have all 3 of them.
You read a few since then, so I just thought maybe they might have been supplanted.
Well, I really liked
the picture of Dorian Gray.
I really liked Scott. How do you say his name?
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald. The Great Gatsby, the book. It's really good. And I also like Fahrenheit 451. Like those kind of books. They're like a dystopian, but they were written in like the 60s, no 20s, something around that time period. So,
it depends on which author you're talking about.
Anyways, like I can tell you those are some ones that I remember that I have, and I own them. And The Perks of Being a Wallflower, that book, it's real high up there. So
mine is still Timeline, but let it be known, I am not the reader I used to be. I'm trying to work on that, but it's really hard. But there is a author, Matthew Riley. He's written Ice Station, Seven Deadly Wonders, Area 7. He's created a couple of different characters. The one that's most memorable to me is, I think his name is Scoville. They call him Scarecrow. And it's like these, elite army unit, and they go and search out these weird goings-ons in like the Arctic or whatever. And when I read these books, he writes them literally like action movies. Like his writing is just so, the way he writes, you envision it as an action movie. And I love his writing. It's not great writing, but it really it's very visual.
Sorry. While you're talking over here, we're being stupid on camera.
Sorry.
Hey, Gabby, I get it.
You were listening.
When you introduced me to Harlan Coban, I was shook. Like when I read his book called Tell No One, I thought I was watching a movie. It was so action packed, and usually that's not my style, but it was like a good.
Which one?
Tell No One by Harlan Coban.
Oh, Harlan Coban is excellent as well.
Good.
Yes, you're right. He's a good one.
I was like, I felt like I was watching a movie the whole time. I was on my edge of my seat.
I like books like that. I like suspense, thriller, horror books.
That's kind of what it was like.
The one of Matthew Riley's,
sci-fi, it's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one of Matthew Riley's, I really is. It's almost like XXX, like Xander Cage style action. I think it was Temple. He has this character. I believe a helicopter has crashed into like this river, and the rotors were still slightly rotating. In this, not full speed, obviously, but they were slightly rotating. This character is running from somebody or towards something. I literally can't remember, but he happens to time the rotation where that he jumps on the rotor blade of the helicopter and uses that to cross the river. It was so awesome and ridiculous at the same time. I just, but that word picture is vividly stuck into my brain. I'm like, I can see that dude jumping onto this rotor blade and running across the river. And it's so ridiculous, but I loved it. And most of his action is like that.
That's
but
awesome.
I wish I read more than I used to.
He did write his Scarecrow series where it follows this elite army unit or whatever they are, Navy SEALs, there's something super awesome. He did write it to where one of the main characters of that series was killed off. And I was like, what the crap? You were really shook. And it's just man, I got to get back to reading more. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I'm just determined to read more.
I was trying to think what my favorite book would be. And I guess it'd have to be the first Bane book.
Ooh, those are good ones.
Star Wars.
Those are good ones.
The whole trilogy is good, but I feel like the first one was the best to me.
See, I would like to read really y'all's favorite books, Gobby's Timeline, and then now that you said yours is Bane. I just would like to do that.
If you want to read it.
Bane is my favorite.
I'll let you know when I want to borrow.
Star Wars character, period. Like, I just...
Really? Tell me, like, why is that?
Because
he's a bad guy, but you make... It like makes you feel connected to him, like you root for the bad guy.
Was that Drew Karpyshyn? Or however you say his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a Sith. And he's like a major Sith baddie. But like the way that it is written, you understand why he veered that way and how he got there and the actions he takes. And you're like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. And it's just
with you all the way.
It's amazing. It's an amazing, and it's 3 books and it's
okay. After Hyperion, Bane, Timeline, doing it.
Timeline is my favorite. It's still my favorite. The movie was ridiculous.
That's
it was
Crichton, right?
the Fast and Furious of time travel, but
time travel is
I've only read a couple of his books.
Michael Crichton was
Jurassic Park.
In high school, Michael Crichton was my favorite author, along with Clive. No, Clive Cussler was probably like middle school, but I love.
You like John Grisham?
Both the Jurassic Park books, Lost World, and that one, and then I read. What's that pirate one that he didn't finish? That his son.
Pirate Latitudes or something like that.
He didn't.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
It wasn't that great. No, he died.
Yeah, he like died.
It was like an old manuscript or something he had.
Yeah, it was like notes or something.
For him.
Oh.
I really liked Prey, which was like one of his later books. And then even the one that was like super, lots of people complained about it because it was basically him talking about the, what do they call that? Where the world is warming up, global warming. Like it goes into like all that stuff and the effects, and like I really enjoyed that book, but it wasn't one of his better works. But Prey is really good. It's about nanotechnology and like this force of them come sentient and start doing things, and it's really good. Man, like talking about books makes me want to read, but then it's like, oh, now I got to take time out to read,
and I never will,
and I'm never going to do it.
We should start a book club.
What are we going to read first? But even like you, I mean, you've ridden, rode.
The problem I had a second ago.
The past tense of read is rode.
You're stupid.
Like I would like to read Picture of Dorian Gray. I would like to read Frankenstein, and those are short books.
Yeah, compared to these 500 pages.
I would say the only quote unquote classics I've read.
Oh my God, get over it. Get a hold of life, dude.
I've read is Ray Bradbury. Like, I like Ray Bradbury.
I like him too.
Fahrenheit 451 yes. And Martian Chronicles. I really like Martian Chronicles because they're anthology as well. Like you're following one story and then it goes to another story.
Char read Fahrenheit 451 in school.
It's good.
I think she liked it. Didn't you like it? Yeah, she liked it.
I read it in school too. And I remember, like a lot of school books, sometimes you never know. But
Lord of the Flies.
That was one I really enjoyed.
Everybody reads Lord of the Flies.
I was so ready to be done with that book. Like that book was
because you didn't go to school.
But
I didn't go to school.
You would drop out.
I did drop out.
P8. What do they call that? What do you call that when
drop out?
Your GED, baby. It's okay.
I don't think that's what it's called, dummy.
GED?
Nothing.
Oh, you don't have credentials. You don't have a GED.
Nope. Don't need it.
I have never once, not never been asked for my diploma.
Me either.
I don't think you needed to drive trucks.
Well, I guess technically they do ask you. Like,
did you graduate high school, son?
What form of education do you have?
When we say 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, do you know what that means? Yes, sir. All right. Well, here you go. Here's 80,000 pounds. Go down the road. I did go to school for that.
Well.
Yeah, you had to get a license for that.
You got to get a license.
I think what was y'all's favorite, subject in school?
Science.
Science. So that was, my second favorite. But English has always been my favorite subject, and not the grammar part of English, the other part of English, language arts.
You know what? You're right. I always did enjoy the writing part. Like when she would have us write short stories or poems, I would make up
Hated that. Oh, I hated that.
You know what? I have all of that stuff somewhere. I'm
like
going to read them.
I bet they're stupid.
Me and a buddy of mine. No, me and a buddy of mine.
No, they're stupid.
Oh, they're extremely stupid. Me and my best friend in school, Danny West, we would write stupid poems and try to like out dark each other and make the counselor wondering if we needed assistance. So we would talk about like killing people and it was just crazy. And one time my teacher did write a note on my thing. So
don't forget what you're going to say, dude.
Where does this come from? We're like, no, we're just being stupid. But she's like, wow, this is dark. But they weren't really dark. I mean, they were like stupid dark looking back. But
stupid dark, but like a teacher is
for
concerned.
the 90s. For the 90s, they were dark. We were emo.
That really reminds me the most embarrassing thing that happened to me in school, I think. In science class, actually. In 7th grade, I think it was. I was writing out the lyrics to the song Adam Sandler sings in The Wedding Singer. You know, about killing himself. I was handwriting out the lyrics because I was telling a classmate of mine that was, how funny it was. And I was writing out the lyrics, and the freaking teacher, I guess, thought I wasn't paying attention. So he walks up and grabs what I was writing and proceeds to read it out loud.
Oh my God.
No way.
Like it's a song from a movie.
What did she
It's
say?
actually funny. I don't even remember. I just remember being super embarrassed.
I bet she called your mom. Be like, I'm
It was a guy.
concerned.
He was a teacher. It was a male teacher. No, he didn't call my mom.
I
He just was
remember-
like, pay attention.
The short story.
Funny.
The short story I most remember that I wrote was Edgar the Warrior Fly.
Weird. Never.
And it was about this housefly that I had named Edgar. And this guy was trying to swat him and kill him, but like Edgar just like ransacked the house. And Edgar is a housefly, mind you. So I wrote from the perspective of the housefly trying to get swatted, and he just wreaked havoc. And I don't know, like that makes me fond of the old days of literature class. But
So did the fly wreak havoc, or did he cause the human to wreak havoc by trying to swat him?
well, yeah, both. Like his flying around and the guy trying to kill him.
What grade was this?
It was high school, probably 9th.
It had to be high school. That's a pretty high concept.
We had to write like satire, analytical essays, stuff like that. And those
I
weren't really
hated
my
writing.
favorites, but
Well, I loved writing.
I liked my college English class when I was a senior, because he was more thoughtful and he actually liked what he did, so it made the class more enjoyable. That's kind of why I like that.
Yeah.
So
My 3rd grade teacher, English teacher, made us try, and she like wanted us to write a story about a small door that you found in your closet that like went somewhere or something. Man, I remember I was sitting there like 3rd grade trying to come up with something, and I was like,
So he saw the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then like was trying to adapt it to your class.
oh, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
there's like a small door in your closet you found and like leads somewhere. And
You
man,
find a small.
They were
came
trying
with
to
the
get you to
dumbest
think.
crap ever. It was like 3rd grade, and I'm like, this is dog crap. This is
All
crap
right,
that I'm writing
class.
right now.
Y'all find a small door in your closet. Where does it go? Go ahead and write
Imagine
that down.
this.
It leads to cookies. That's what I mean. You're 3rd grade. What are you talking about? It leads to the playground.
Of course, because I'm dark, but yeah, it was bad.
Oh my
Hated
god!
writing.
That's why the one thing I did not like about my high school literature AP teacher, and I don't. They probably do this in every school, but it's like so we're reading Lord of the Flies in class. We would read like a paragraph. Okay, so what does this mean? It means they're on an island. Yeah, but what does the island represent?
I like the metaphors, similes, and figurative
What
language.
does this character mean?
Like
who does
like
he
every author has to have
represent?
some kind of some kind of deeper
Can he
meaning to
just
everything
write
they
a
write.
freaking action story about these kids trying to survive on an island? It's like, it's like Hunger Games. It was like Hunger Games, basically. Early Hunger Games.
But with children.
And I mean,
well, younger. Yeah. Well, never mind. They're all kids.
No, yeah, they're kids.
That's right. Never mind.
It doesn't have to be a deeper meaning to everything.
Yeah.
No, she would break down she'd be wanting to break down like every sentence. I'm like, oh my God. I don't think this guy thought that deeply about every sentence and you're just trying to make this mean something. It doesn't mean, and plus, we're in 10th grade. Nobody cares. We don't care. We don't care how philosophical it is or is not. We just want to go eat lunch and go hang out. Smoke doobies with our friends.
Here he goes, doobies.
Smoking doobies.
You don't know nothing about doobies.
I know the Doobie Brothers.
Doobies smoking.
Well, this is not where I meant for this podcast to go.
Well, it was a free-flowing podcast.
It was a free-flow podcast because we had nothing else to discuss.
I was going to say, really, I was one more mention of movie, book type thing. Have you guys heard of No Country for Old Men?
I've seen the movie.
Did they make
yes.
y'all watch or read that in school?
I didn't even know it was a book.
Oh yeah, we read that book in school, and I remember that one being something that was super intense. And then we had to have like permission slips to watch the movie.
Do you mind if your child
a little dark.
watches graphic violence and language?
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched in history class. I remember us watching Schindler's List. That left a few of us scarred.
God.
The only movie I remember watching in school was the Dead Poets Society in 6th grade.
Oh my
Or no, 7th
God.
grade.
They made y'all watch that?
I have never
Mr.
seen that,
High.
I haven't seen it all the way through.
nor do I care to see it because it's.
It was
Is it dark?
Depressing.
It's pretty dark, right?
pretty depressing.
It's just one of those, yeah. Captain, my captain. That's all I know. They stand on their chair.
Captain, my captain.
A
Robin
teacher
Williams.
that breaks all the rules. It's just to reach the hearts of his students. I was like, oh my God, I'm out.
It was a decent movie.
I'm sure it's okay. That was Robin Williams in his, when he was trying to act dazed and not just be crazy. All right, well, that's going to do it for this podcast. We've discussed nothing of importance.
But you know what, though? That's okay. I kind of like those kinds sometimes where we just kind of, or chill, like just chilling.
Just chatting.
Just chatting with a bunch of friends
You want
chatting.
to just chat with friends? Well, we've done it tonight. Do you feel like you've chatted with us? Send us your favorite book or what else did we discuss?
Movie that's also a book or movie book.
Movie adaptations.
What is your no? We didn't discuss that. What is your favorite book? Send us your favorite book and author,
and I'll read it. Maybe it'll take me like 2 or 3 years.
Sade might read it, and I might listen to it on Audible at some point in the next 5 years. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Gabby.
I'm Sade.
This is Deej.
Later, dudes.